Alright guys, today's essential question is how do we solve equations that have radicals? So let's take a look at our first example. Let's say that I give you this equation. Your variable is x, so I want you to solve this for x. What we're going to do is we're going to isolate the radical symbol, so I'm going to add 6 to both sides. So that will give me the square root of 2 minus x is equal to 6. You remember, if there is no root, it's understood to be 2. Now, the way that you get rid of a root is by raising it to its power. So the way to get rid of a square root is to raise it to the second power. The root and the square cancel each other out, so that leaves me 2 minus x equals 36. To solve this for x, subtract 2, so that gives me negative x equals 34. Divide by negative 1, that gives me my answer of negative 34. For the next one, again, isolate your root first, so I'm going to add 7 to both sides, so that's going to give me the square root of negative x minus 3 equals 7. The understood root here is 2, so to get rid of a root of 2, we're going to square it. The root and the square cancel out, so that leaves me x minus 3 equals 49, and to finish solving this for x, add 3, so that gives me 52. Alright. If you have a radical on the left-hand side and a radical on the right-hand side, you can just simply square, in this case, because the understood root was 2, square both sides, and then the radicals will cross out and leave me x plus 4 is equal to 4x minus 8. I have an x on both sides, so I'm going to subtract 1x from both sides and get 4 equals 3x minus 8. Then I'm going to add 8 to both sides and get 12 is equal to 3x, and then divide by 3 on both sides, and that gives me my answer of 4. Alright, for the first time we have a radical that is not a square root, but we still need to isolate the radical, so I'm going to subtract 3, and that'll give me the cube root of 2x plus 5 is equal to negative 3. To get rid of a cube root, I'm going to raise it to the third power. The root and its power will cross out and leave me 2x plus 5. Negative 3 to the third is negative 27. I subtract 5. That gives me 2x is equal to negative 32. Divide by 2. That gives me my answer of negative 16. Alright, for this one and for our last one, I need to isolate the radical, so I'm going to add x to both sides, and so that will give me the square root of x minus 3 equals x plus minus 5. And then to get rid of my radical, understood root of 2, I'm going to square both sides, and so that will give me x minus 3 is equal to x minus 5 squared, which remember is x minus 5 times x minus 5. So I'm going to FOIL this out and get x squared minus 5x minus 5x plus 25. Well, this is a quadratic, so I'm going to set this equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract x and add 3. And when I do that and combine my like terms, that's going to leave me x squared minus 11x plus 28. Since this is a quadratic, I know that I'm going to get two answers, so I'm going to factor this, and factors of 28 would be 7 and 4. 7 and 4 do give me 11. They're both going to be the same sign. They're both going to be negative, so that's going to give me x minus 7 and x minus 4. I can set each one of these equal to 0, so I get x minus 7 is equal to 0 and x minus 4 is equal to 0. So my two answers would be 7 and 4. And that's it for today's lesson.